Welcome to another series of stories about Sunday School Charlie. This group of 5 stories is called The Mystery of the Golden Key. So we're going to have some exciting things that are going to happen in these stories. Charlie and Red were sitting out next to the river fishing. Charlie and Red had been doing a lot of things together. It was almost a year since they went to Vacation Bible School and since Jesus had come into Red's heart. Red, his life really changed and he was just so happy. And he and Red and Charlie did a lot of things together. As they did things together throughout the school year, their friendship grew, and here it was a year later at the beginning of summer. It was one of those hot, steamy summer days. So Red and Charlie decided they would go fishing. They went down to the river, and as they were sitting there fishing, they were remembering what had happened last year there at the river. And as they thought of all of that adventure, they're just sort of sitting there waiting, and Charlie started to reel his line, and all of a sudden he gave a yank. Charlie says, Red, I've got something big. It's big, Red, can you see what it is? And he was pulling and reeling and pulling and reeling it in. When he pulled it in, up came a great big clump of mud. Red says, oh yeah, you got something big, all right. All you got was a big clump of mud. Charlie says, well, here, I'll take it off. So he took it, and as Charlie felt that clump of mud, he says, Red, there's something inside that clump of mud. So he reached down into the water and washed and rinsed and shook it off. And then he pulled up a set of keys. Yes, a whole ring of keys. They were rusty, they were dirty. Wow, said Charlie, look what I got. Red says, yeah, some fish that is. That's just a bunch of junk. Charlie says, no, those are special keys. I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to carry those keys around in my belt. Oh, those are so special. Red didn't think they were all that special, but anyway, after they started to go home, on the way home, Charlie says, don't forget, Red, we go to camp tomorrow. After Sunday school, after church tomorrow morning, we get to go to camp. Red says, I've never been to camp. I hope I like it. Oh, you'll love it, said Charlie. No problem, he said. You're going to do really good for your first time. After they got home, Charlie went through his evening routine, finished putting some things into his suitcase, and yes, those keys, he put them in a corner of his suitcase. He wanted to take them to camp. He wanted to show the ones at camp what he had found. As Charlie got ready to go to bed, he pulled out his Bible and he read the scripture that his Sunday school teacher had given him the week before. The Sunday school teacher asked him and asked the whole class to memorize a particular verse, but Charlie read the verses before and after that verse, just before he went to bed. And it was found in Matthew chapter 5, beginning in verse 43. Matthew 5:43. Jesus is talking. Jesus said, you have heard that it's been said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and he sends rain on the just and on the unjust. Charlie went back to the verse that they were supposed to memorize, Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Charlie thought, I don't really have any enemies right now. I thought Red was my enemy last year, but I can't think of anybody right now. Bless them that curse you. Charlie says, well, that really hasn't happened. Do good to them that hate you. Okay, said Charlie. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Well, that's what I can do, said Charlie. I can keep praying that I'll still be a missionary, praying that I'll have the opportunity to tell someone about the Lord Jesus Christ. He thought about that. Love your enemies. As he thought about that, he was thinking of this verse. He was trying to remember it for Sunday school the next morning. And as he kept thinking about that, he drifted off to sleep. Charlie was sleeping. All of a sudden, Charlie, it's time to get up. Yeah, okay. Charlie, it's Sunday morning. We're going to Sunday school, church, then you're going to camp. Camp! Oh, I almost forgot. He was in such a sound sleep. He's, yes. Charlie jumped out of bed and he was just in a hurry to get going. They went to church, Sunday school, and that afternoon they got on the bus on their way to camp. As they were going to camp, Charlie was just chattering. Oh, Red, I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to show you the stream. I can't wait to show you the boats. Oh, Red, you have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Red, you have to clean your cabin. Red, you have to go to breakfast. Red says, Charlie. Slow down. I'll learn it when I get there. It'll be okay. And so Charlie says, okay. Well, Charlie's sitting there in the bus, and all of a sudden they see a sign for the camp. And boy, when they saw that sign, Charlie jumped to his feet. There it is. There's the sign for the camp. There. Bus driver says, Charlie, sit down. Yes, sir. He sat down. Well, they turned off of the main road into the camp. Charlie jumped up again. Oh, look, over there at the building. Over there, that's our cabins. Over there is where we eat. Over there on that side, that's our chapel bit. Charlie, sit down. Yes, sir. He sat down. He was just so excited. Well, they pulled into the camp, and there was a big sign out, registration. So they get out to go and register for camp, and as they stood in line, Charlie saw some of the friends that he had made last year, and he was really glad to be back. And it was their turn to go to the registration table, and they went to the table, and sitting on the table there was a beautiful wooden box. This wooden box was carved and made to look like a treasure chest. Red looked at Daddy and said, "Wow, that looks expensive." Charlie said, "Yes, I heard somebody got that when they were in Germany. They made these beautiful wood things over there." And Red says, "Look, there's a gold colored key sticking out of the lock." "Yeah," said Charlie. Well, by that time they had to pay their money, and when they paid their money, the registrar opened up this box to put their money in it. Red looked, whoa, he'd never seen that much money. All of that money. He was looking, and they closed it back up, and the key was still there. It hadn't been locked, it was still there. So they started to their cabin, and on the way, Red says, "What did they do with all of that money? I've never seen that much money." "Well," said Charlie, "stop and think. The camp has to buy our food." "Well, yeah, okay. And the camp has to pay for the boats that we ride on. The camp has to pay the electric bill. The camp has to pay for the water bill." Okay, Red said. "Yeah, I guess I understand now." Well, just before they got to the cabin, they met some boys. Some boys were running from another cabin, and as they were running past Charlie and Red, there were about 7 boys all together in a group. Charlie says, "Hi, guys." And the boys went by. Well, then they stopped and came back around, made a circle right around Charlie and Red, 7 of them. Charlie says, "Hi, how are you?" They says, "Oh, good. Where is your cabin? Where are you going?" Charlie said, "We're going to Carey Cottage." It's spelled Carey. You see, there are different cabins, and cottages were named after missionaries. And it was Carey, and there was a Livingston, and there was a Hudson, and so there were different names associated with missionaries. Boy says, "Oh, we're in Livingston Lodge." And so Charlie looked around. He noticed one boy was a little bit taller, a little bit bigger than the rest of the boys. And he started asking their names. And he got to this bigger fellow. Fellow looked at him. Charlie says, "Oh, hi, what's your name?" "My name's Mike." "Muscle Mike." Charlie looked at me and says, "Well, I can see why they call you Muscle Mike." Red spoke up right away. He says, "How did you get those muscles?" "Oh, I go to the gym all the time. I work out. I lift weights. I'm strong. Because I'm strong, I'm not afraid of anybody." Red sort of gulped and okay, and some of the other boys called, "Come on, Mike, let's go." So they all took off together, and Charlie's still thinking about Mike, Muscle Mike. And Red spoke up right away. He says, "Boy, I'm sure glad he's not in our cabin, because if he was, I don't want him getting mad at me." Charlie says, "Yeah," he says, "he's in that other cabin, and you're right. We sure wouldn't want him to get mad at us." They went to their cabin, and as they got to their cabin, they met their counselor. His name was Uncle Jeff, and Uncle Jeff told them things about camp, what was going to be happening. And then it was time to go and eat. And on the way to the dining hall, Charlie and Red met up with Muscle Mike and the other boys. Mike walked over and said to Charlie, "Hey, what's that pin on your shirt for?" "Oh, that's a Sunday school pin. You see, I go to Sunday school every Sunday, and when I go for a whole year, I get a special award, and I keep putting pieces onto this to show how many years I've had perfect attendance. Mike said, perfect attendance? You mean you even go to Sunday school, but you go every Sunday? Charlie says, sure, Mike. Yeah, I go every Sunday. Mike says, boy, I don't even go at all, let alone go every Sunday. That's sissy stuff. Eh, I sure don't, glad I don't go. I'm sure glad I don't hang around where you live. Then he reached down and saw Charlie's keys. Oh, what's that key ring you have, Charlie? And Charlie, oh, those are keys that I found. See, there's 15 of them all in this ring. I found these when I was fishing. Ah, they're nothing but junk, said Mike. Junk, just like that Sunday school pin. It's junk. It's all junk. Well, they went to mealtime, had the evening service, back to the cabin. And that night before Charlie went to sleep, he's thinking about Muscle Mike. And he's thinking, God, do you want me to be a missionary to Muscle Mike this week? Muscle Mike doesn't sound like he knows Jesus. Muscle Mike sounds like he's pretty rough. And he's thinking that Bible verse. And so as Charlie had crawled into bed and laying there thinking after the cabin devotions, he thought about that Bible verse again. Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Charlie's thinking about that. Verse is going through his mind again, just the way it was the night before when he was at home. And suddenly, Charlie went to sleep. And that's where we stop for the first lesson.